evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Off the Rails. My name is Jason, aka Woo Woo J Train. Very excited for this edition of Off the Rails. We have a very special guest coming in tonight. We did a draft last year together, and it was definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite stream that I've done so far. So I've been looking forward to linking up with them again this year. Doesn't need much of an introduction, but we've got our guy, Nez, joining us of the Badge Bros. Nez, how you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well. I am crushing these dingers lately. It's hard to believe that we are essentially 2 weeks away from the season, which just feels insane. I've got some major life events coming up, so I'm trying to get these drafts taken care of. Well, I'm sure I'll have time
while you can. Squeeze them in while you can.
Exactly,
guys. If you are somehow unfamiliar with Nez's game and Nez's work, he is one of the Badge Bros. If you do not subscribe to the Badge Bros channel, you can go ahead and go off the stream for a second to do that because that's more important. You can also become a member of the Badge Bros community by signing up for a membership there. I myself have one. It's just $5 a month, guys. Supporting these dudes and the amazing content that they put out. It's awesome to be able to do some of the kind of behind the paywall stuff that you guys do too, which is always great. So definitely show John and Nez some love. Subscribe to their channel, become members, check out their content. They can do some really great work. And as you said, Nez, like dinger drafting season is coming to a rapid close, and that's actually kind of crazy to believe, given that I started drafting in November, and it doesn't feel like that long ago.
I know, man. It's really wild how dinger season comes and goes, but the people are doing their part. I mean, I think this thing's gonna feel pretty confident about that, and it's $1 million contest. I mean, kind of awesome that that the dinger is $1 million prize pool. I mean, that I didn't know that we would ever see that day. So I mean, good things. I think good things are ahead for baseball on Underdog.
It's pretty wild, and you see more and more people getting involved. It seems like there's more roto guys who are coming over now and playing than last year, or some of them seem to be playing a higher volume than they were last year. So the game is definitely growing. It's fun to watch that happen, and draft with all these new people who are coming over to our game. So Nez and I, we are going to team up to draft a team, and we need you guys to hop in the lobby. We need 6 people. I don't have it shared, but I don't think I can wait for an empty one. I've gotten really lucky the last couple streams with being able to fill up empty lobbies. So
I think the way you just did it is the way to go for when you're streaming, because if you show the lobby, it's just people just flood, and you never get the people in. But if you announce it, then it's like then everybody gets a fair shot.
Yeah, and the whole point of this for me is like just being able to draft with people. I'm going to draft with friends who come into the chat and stuff like that. And so I've been really trying to get as open lobbies as I can. We've had very full friends and family drafts lately, but unbelievably, and this is the Nez magic, I got a 102. And I can't tell you the last time I got a 102. So we're
really
here.
Where have you been drafting from usually?
Oh, dude. I showed on my last stream. I showed, and that was as of 65 drafts, and I'm up to almost 100 now. But still, I think I want to say over 65% of my drafts have been from the 8-hole or later.
Wow,
it's been pretty brutal. Yeah.
Wow.
I went 73 drafts without getting the 105. Which is fine because that pick sucks.
It does.
I've had some pretty bad luck with the draft slots, but we got a 102 tonight. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, 102 is where it's at, man.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping that MVC would take Ohtani, but
yeah,
I'll go ahead and fall on that sword.
There's
No,
worse picks to make than Shohei Ohtani 102, right?
yeah, and I honestly, I don't really care that he may see less at bats or fewer steals this year because, I mean, you want to talk about the game that we play, which is a week to week scoring, spike driven type game. Like
Yeah.
there are few hitters in baseball who can go bananas like Shohei Ohtani can at any point in time. So
Yeah. It feels pretty unfair to be given a top two, even top three pick in this contest. I mean, these guys are. It's a pretty special time to have these guys all in the game at
it
once.
is.
Truly,
I feel like if you get the 1 through 4, like there's just no decision making. Like
no,
you just
yeah,
take whoever's there.
yeah.
Like
That fourth pick,
even
yeah. If somebody takes Witt, you're taking Soto.
yeah,
And like
exactly.
four's not a bad spot at all.
No. And even if, like I prefer to start with an outfielder in the first round, but picking Witt at the 4 feels amazing because you do not lock yourself out of elite outfielders. Like you can get Wyatt or Rooker on the way back, depending on the draft. So Bobby Witt is almost like my quote favorite click, just because you get the guy who, like, honestly, if Bobby Witt scored the most points in this format for the entire season, I wouldn't be floored.
No,
So to be able to get that guy and still get a couple of great outfielders, like I never have a problem clicking his name.
no, never. And we dodged a pretty big bullet with him today. I don't know if you saw, he took a hit by
I
pitch,
did.
ran
Yep.
into the clubhouse. But they said like an hour ago or so that X-rays are negative on him. So thank God for that.
Thank goodness. Yeah. I just, like, as a baseball fan,
Yeah.
I just don't want a world where Bobby Witt's not playing. Like the guy is
No, of
just
course.
so good.
Yeah. You hate injuries are the worst, man. They're awful. They're awful.
They really are. While we're waiting to catch up with the picks, I do want to acknowledge the chat. So we've got Garrick in here, Dale, Rod, Terrence, Nick, Turbo. Thank you guys for coming out. Sheep popping in. Turn Me Up is here. Like, really, really appreciate you guys, as always, coming to hang out and drafting with us. So
I
much,
didn't get
so much more fun.
Yeah. No, you guys rock, man, and you got a good thing going here, Jason. You are definitely definitely one of the good ones out here, man. Doing these baseball shows, always like hearing your insight, always entertaining, man. It's I like your streams a lot.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you said some very nice words on one of the paywall streams recently, and that meant a lot. Coming from, I mean, you do this for a living. Like, this is like, I watch what you and John do, and I'm like, God, they're so good.
Somehow. I'm still not entirely sure what's what's happening, but we're hearing it's happening, and it's a thing, so.
Yeah. Congratulations to you guys, by the way, for kind of re-upping. Maybe I'm not using the right terminology, but re-upping your partnership with Underdog.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm really glad that it was pretty seamless, for us in that conversation. So that made me happy because, there's you see a lot of stuff on Twitter about like where they're at with draft games, and I felt like their commitment to, like, continuing to support us was like a really good sign for draft games. And now they're hiring another associate, which I was like really excited about and didn't expect to see. So I'm pretty happy about like the way things are going for draft games. But like I feel like there's good things down the pipe. I have no info. I just have a good feeling that I think they're going to take care of the community, man. I mean, we take care of them, and it's just such a unique and growing thing. It's so rare to have a growing DFS space, and this is one of them.
Accurate. And it's unique. Like, there's really no other platform like it. Like, Drafters is kind of somewhat similar with like the best ball side of things, but daily contests, whatever, it's a completely different way to play daily fantasy sports. And I'll probably do a little bit more of the daily stuff in baseball. I mean, my focus is best ball. My bankroll goes to best ball, but the daily contests are really, really fun. And baseball is one of those daily sports where like you can do virtually anything. And as long as you're, I guess, telling a story, it can make sense. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
you
mean,
can stack a whole team of 30 plus ADP guys and no one will look at you sideways because it's like, all right, I see what you're doing.
no. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what's so cool about it, right? Is like you can put in limited volume and do it in a way where like you don't have to have like the 101. Whereas like other sports, NBA, I would maybe do a draft until you get Nikola Jokic if it's if one of those. Like if you're doing NBA, make sure you have enough to roll. Okay, we are up. I'm not going to make you draft Paul Skeens. I won't.
I will if you want me to.
No, I won't make you do it. Who do you normally go in with here? I guess you're the host, dude.
I am trying to get more Wyatt because
I've been jamming Wyatt in the second round. Jamming it.
Well, and here's the thing. Knowing that there's a guy who's going to make back-to-back picks right after us, I could have gone with Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman or whatever, but I don't know that there's a world that exists where MVC is going to pass on Wyatt. So it's like, I'm good with Olson, Freeman, Harper, stacking Teoscar. Like, I'm good with all of that. Wyatt's the guy that I wanted to make sure that I got.
This guy is seeing the Matrix here.
He is. He's living the dream here. Aaron Judge with Trey Turner. All right.
If he doesn't go Bryce Harper here, this guy's awesome. This is wow.
You went with Olson.
I love it. I mean, who cares?
If you want to do it, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you, Nez. Skeens at 26.
Is this gonna be your first share?
In the dinger, I think it might be. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right. Man, that way you know who's responsible. When you see this team in sixth place and you're like, what the fuck? A Skeens team? Oh
yeah. Right. Well, I'm not naming my teams this year. So when I get one team to the final, God willing, this year, and I see Paul Skeens staring back at me and be like, it's the Nez magic. That's the only explanation.
Yep. That's how you'll know. It'll be easy. You don't need to name it at all. I don't name them either. I just I've been like numbering them, so just like 1 through 150, and that's it. I'm not doing what build I did. I used to do that quite a bit, and then I just like lost track of it, and after a certain point I'm just like I don't I don't care anymore. I'm just it doesn't really matter to me.
And like in your best year, 70% of the teams are done, right? Like if you advance 30% of teams, you're like crying with joy, right? So, why name all of them when only, probably realistically, like if you're above the field, 20%, 25% maybe get through. Like I'm kind of we've been talking about this in the Discord a little bit somewhat recently, and I'm just going to wait until the playoffs start to do any naming, even if that. But the Skeens fade, I want to be extremely clear, has nothing to do with the player. It is purely a structure thing for me.
No, I mean, I stopped taking Skeens pretty drastically because I've shifted my approach. Like I still think that pitching is important, and I don't think that you can get away with not having any good pitchers. But it doesn't mean you got to take one in the third round because, I mean, your guy Garrett Crochet is available around pick 50, similar week-to-week upside if he's going to, be healthy especially when it matters most. I mean, arguably you can go toe-to-toe. And there's that honeypot range where like 24 pitchers go, and they're some of the best pitchers in baseball. And that's where I've been like making my living lately. And I just pound the shit out of pitcher, and I might be done at pitcher in like the 15th round, and I have 7 pitchers. I'm just like, I'm done. But because I took them like after I started 0 pitcher, but I have a sick rotation. That's I've been. It's fun, at least. Isn't that the point? We're just trying to have a little fun. I don't know.
Have fun along the way, right? I mean, you can get 8 bats, right? So you could get through 8 rounds, start your pitching staff in round 9, and maybe you go 3 or 4 in the row. And like you look back, you're like, the staff has a bunch of aces or at least really good number 2s on it. Like you can still build a phenomenal staff by
It's
waiting.
crazy. It's crazy. And I don't even think that it's wrong. I think I think it makes sense, right? Like maybe the pitcher run should start a little earlier. Maybe you could argue, but I think it's correct, and you just need to play the market correctly. Is how
Right.
I'm looking at it. You know.
Well, and I'm not like, I know 2 start weeks are important. They're
Of course.
obviously important, but I am not using that as much of a variable as part of my draft strategy because it's not something that's even remotely predictable.
Right.
I'm just trying to draft the pitchers that I think are the best pitchers and then hope that I run into 2 start weeks down the road. Like I'm not ignoring that as a variable, but I feel like, there's others are kind of leaning into you have to have 2 start weeks more than others. And I don't know. I'm not.
It's such a black box that like I've just like relinquished any sort of control that I think I might have over it. And instead just taking the guys that I like. I think if I was really, really sweaty about it and really wanted to optimize, I would probably have like no more than 13% of any pitcher and just really flatten it out and say like this, I am just praying that I have, good batter stands, and the rest I'm just searching for 2 start weeks, but that's not fun. That sounds like a terrible way to play best ball to optimize for something that you have no control over.
We want to win, but at the same time, we want to really have fun here. All right. I'm thinking of doing something crazy.
How crazy?
Skeens and Crochet on the same staff, and then we just wait on pitching forever.
Yeah, I want to try this. Let's do it.
Try it? Okay.
Absolutely. Crochet's pretty nasty, brother. And this is it's a callback.
If we get to the it is a callback. I drafted Crochet for the very first time the last time you joined me. The day I had that planned all day. And at like noon that day, they announced he was the opening day starter. And it was like my bit just died right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like if the White Sox could hurt me any more than they already have, they ruined my bit. But it just feels like a callback. Like if you have Garrett Crochet and Paul Skeens on your staff and you get 2 start weeks out of them on the finals, like it's all over. Right. So
yeah. I mean, goddamn, you're certainly in the money. You're definitely above min cash. And I think about this from like the standpoint of like, the type of people taking it to football, the type of people that draft robust RB draft a certain archetype of player.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but the people that probably draft robust pitcher probably do certain things, but we're going to do it different. We're going to go robust pitcher in a good way. All right, here we go.
Just say it.
I see O'Neal Cruz. Do you want to go an infielder? Do we dare take our first infielder of O'Neal Cruz?
Oh, we dare.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm seeing some very, very positive words about this young man on the Twitter Xverse.
Yes.
He's having a really fun spring. I mean, you've talked about it. He hits the ball about as hard as anybody in the game. He's very, very fun. And if it wasn't for, what was it, 2023, the beginning of 2023, when he, broke his leg sliding into home plate, like the 3rd game of the year, we're probably having maybe a different conversation about him this year. But like, I don't know. It feels like this might be the year he finally just snaps and really truly breaks out.
Yeah, I'm really confident in him taking a step forward. I foresee a step forward with O'Neal Cruz, which I think is like kind of scary because like, what does a step forward look like for a guy like him that that hits the ball so hard? I think what you're looking for is like some more consistency. There was some definite downturn with O'Neal. Maybe some more stolen bases. That would be pretty awesome as well. Man, I just think the sky's the limit for him. I mean, like you said, he hits the ball as hard as anybody in baseball. Not a lot of guys can say that. There's a very select few guys that can hit the ball 120 miles an hour.
Yeah. And, I currently am sitting right at 9% on him. So I'm basically even with the field. Probably over half the time I draft him, I'm stacking him with Brian Reynolds. So to just kind of get him one off to start the infield is a little bit of a different build than I normally. I mean, I told you this. It's the first Paul Skeens share I've taken, so obviously I'd never double tapped Skeens with Crochet. You know, if we look back after this season's over and Garrett Crochet is standing there as the highest scoring pitcher on the site, I'm not going to be even remotely surprised.
Nope.
The two biggest concerns with him are last year was the first time he ever threw real innings. And, you know, we had a couple of injury issues before that. So, but just like raw talent wise, Garrett Crochet is unfreaking believable, man. And I've got 20% ish on him. And I do not feel even remotely bad about that.
Yeah. I'd like to get some more. I'm pretty light on him. As far as Skeens goes, I'm only at like 12% Skeens. So like, I'm not that crazy on Skeens, man. Like I said, like I like him and I want to believe that he can be the one pitcher that truly matters. So I'm happy with where I'm at. I think I'd like to be around 12%. I think that'll put me well above our cohort of drafters for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. A lot of, you know, people who watch, you know, best ball content and stuff like that they're basically fading Skeens and Scooball for the most part, you know, because it's a structural thing, you know.
Yeah. It's hard to blame him. I don't even have as much Brian Reynolds as I usually do. I'm at 16% Brian Reynolds. So
okay. All right, what are we doing with this next pick here? So the start is we got a 2-1-2 build. Skeens and Crochet, the pitchers, O'Neill, Cruz in the infield. Then we've got Shohei and we've got Wyatt in the outfield.
Yeah. How about, I mean, two pretty sick starts at pitcher and outfield, you know, conceivably are every week starters at pitcher and outfield covered there for, you know, 2 out of 3 spots for both.
Right.
Yeah. This is an interesting pick. I think Dominguez is interesting, and I've been leaning into William Contreras a lot more as well.
Yeah, I don't have as much William Contreras this year. I think, let's see.
Do you have a preference?
He's got a 1-2-2 build behind us.
This guy's a wild card.
Yeah, let's take the Martian.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's take the Martian here and see what our guy behind us does here.
Yeah, I'm at 17%. Dominguez right now.
Okay. And part of me wants to believe like Colton Cowser had a really, really good year last year. And I really like that Baltimore offense. I was really in on him earlier in draft season, but I haven't taken him much lately. And I kind of want to do it now, but do you have another guy in this range that you'd rather click?
I'm above the field on Cowser. I'm with this.
Let's do it. And
yeah, good.
I was gonna say I have an idea for later too. It's not
thing, but I have an idea. Very fun to stack. He's interesting just because like the offense around him is clearly so good. Can he? I think if he gives you exactly what he gave you last year, like be pretty happy with it. But a step forward would be tremendous for sure. But the offensive environment that he's in is just so positive that, you know, he should be at worst like a really solid floor, I think. But I would love a step forward out of Cowser. I was like you, I was drafting him a lot early and then I stopped a little bit.
Yeah, I just he's not a guy that I want to be like overexposed to, but he's I mean, he had a great rookie year. I don't see why he can't build on that.
Great prospect as well.
Yeah, and the offense is going to be elite. So Bregman went to 64, Terrence, if you couldn't see me circling. What's his ADP now? 69. Man, you remember when we were getting Alex Bregman in like the 90s or something?
I was going to say, I remember like pick 90 Bregman.
Wow. Yeah, that was fun.
Those free agents, man, those early draft free agents are like the biggest cheat code ever. Like they always end up going somewhere favorable, almost always. Like the ones that matter. You know, we're not like drafting Tommy Pham without a team. Like, oh man, Like,
Right.
wait till he signs. Everybody's gonna be
Can't wait to
drafting
get some
Tommy
Tommy Pham action. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
But it's Bregman, and all of his suitors were like highly favorable, right? It was like Cubs, Astros, and obviously Red Sox. All like have major positives to them for fantasy. And now he's at the point where I'm like, man, he's almost like stack only for me at this point with how expensive he is.
Yeah, I can't click him over Christian Walker. I
Yeah.
can't click him over. Well, Junior Caminero's price is getting a little. I'm starting to
Ooh,
hesitate
man.
a little bit.
I'm starting to see the downside, more and more. Before it was all rainbows and sunshine,
Yeah.
and there's no way this dude fails. And now I'm like, oh, dude, what if he has like a 110 WRC plus, and it's like not a bad season, but it's not a pick 60 season.
Right.
Like what? Like, boy, wouldn't that suck? So I've slowed down considerably.
Like, am I going to draft him over Christian Yelich? I can't do that. I can't draft like Christian Walker. I feel like we're just staring at a 1,400 point season. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of extreme, but like Christian Walker feels really, really nice in Houston, nicer than he was in Arizona. So it's getting a little more difficult. I was getting my junior. I don't have any of him in the bullpen. That's a huge mistake. But I was getting him pretty early in the dinger. I think I'm at 18% right now, somewhere around there, but probably going to end up around like 10 to 12 because I don't know that I want to get up into the 50s with him in particular. Like
I can't imagine I'm going to. Yeah, I don't know how much more I'm going to draft him. I have 20% right now, and yeah, I just can't imagine that number gets higher.
Yeah,
fun player. I think he's going to be great.
I'm always like, I've never been this in on a rookie before. Like I'm always very, very cautious when it comes to rookies because I don't care what the prospect pedigree is. There are so many rookies that come into Major League Baseball and it's just different and they really, really struggle. But Caminero's it looks like he's got it. So I've definitely not been afraid to click him.
Yeah, just so much power. So much power. It's just so obvious.
Okay, so we've got a pick coming up at pick 95. I have a guy in mind that I don't know if anyone ahead of us is in the stream, so I might be able to star him, but I think you're in on this guy too. He is not currently on the screen. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. Okay. I don't have these ADPs memorized. I've been trying to like use ranks, so I'm not like overly familiar with who we're thinking about here.
To be clear, I didn't have the ADP memorized. I just scrolled a little bit and saw a name, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's time. It's time to take that guy." So, I think that's the direction I'm going to lean, but I'm gonna see what you think. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what you're talking about here. This is a fun range. It
is. I don't know what to do with George Kirby now. I'm afraid that he's dead. But let's go ahead and star Tristan Casas. This team.
Yeah, I take a ton of Casas.
Yeah, me too.
How much do I have of him? 25%. So
25. I am at 25%. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so in on this kid. Their offense is sick. He's a really good bat, and yeah, I just struggle to see how this doesn't work. Okay,
how do you feel about a Tyler O'Neill stack with Colton Cowser?
Yeah, let's do that, man. I like just like bullying outfield in these rooms.
It feels so good, man. It's like, there are some later outfielders that I really, really like. Josh Lowe is one of my highest owned outfielders. I have quite a bit of Nolan Jones, although I've been backing off him lately a little bit. I'm starting to get Evan Carter back in because apparently he's swinging the bat really hard. So that's good. So I like to, this is kind of how I build, man. 5 outfielders before pick 100 feels really, really good to me because it gets just so questionable so fast, dude.
It does. And I think Tyler O'Neill himself has some question marks, as far as like playing time and potential injury, because this dude's always hurt. But like, as your outfield 5, I mean, that's nothing but upside.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
And this team already kind of has the makings of a 6 outfield team.
Oh, for sure.
Um, what are we going to get out of Dominguez? Obviously, we don't know, but why would you take him here if you didn't believe that he could really make a difference?
Yeah.
So it's definitely shaping up to be a 6 outfield team. We'll see how the rest of the draft goes, but I mean, this could be a 6-8-6 type build. Like,
Yeah.
we'll
Have you
see
have
how
you
it shakes
done
out.
have you done any builds with 8 or 5 as in for positions?
No fives, and I probably will not do any fives.
Yeah.
That just feels way, way, way too fragile. Like, even if let's say you burn your first 5 picks on just absolute smash outfielders, if one of those guys gets hurt, your build is dead. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get a score out of 4 guys. Then, you can only use 3, obviously, but sometimes they're just gonna kind of slump. Fives feel bad. I do love. It's really fun to do a 6-8-6 build. How I like to draft pitching. I am going to try to do more 8-6-6s. I think I only have like 2 or 3, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But 8-6-6, 6-8-6 feel great. You'll never see me on purpose draft an 8 outfield team. I have
Yeah.
one, but it's because I forgot about it and auto drafted. But
Yep.
8 outfielders feels really bad. 8
Does.
infielders feels great. 8 pitchers feels great.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I did something funny last night. I did a 5. I did a 5 infielder. 8. I went 8-5-7
Okay.
with this, and it's a Bobby Witt Vlad Seager start with Simeon, and the 5th infielder sucks. The 5th infielder is not good. But
Well,
I
can
was
you tell
like,
us who the 5th infielder is, or is that a
no,
Nez
I
nugget?
can. I can. It was Andres Jimenez, because I have a Vlad Jimenez Springer stack, and I was just like telling myself a story that,
Okay.
like,
Okay.
if I'm drafting, because I'm like, it was my last pick. I'm like, if I'm putting and I'm putting a 5th infielder on here, like, it might as well be just like a one-off strange stack that helps elevate these other guys. Was what I told myself. Mike Trout outfield 1, by the way, on this team. So
Okay, perfect. Jordan Westberg is the pick here for me.
yeah. I he wasn't always over Adley, was he?
No, he has just recently flipped. His
Yeah.
ADP has gone up and up and up and up all draft season. It's
Yeah.
been really fascinating to watch, actually.
I'm a big fan. I think if Westberg and Kauser flip positions, uh, they would be, or if they had the same position, I think Westberg would go ahead of Kauser. If he was, if they
Yeah.
were the same position, all things equal. What Westberg, doesn't walk quite as much, but strikes out less, better slugging numbers last year. They're both awesome players, and easy to stack.
Do we go ahead and just do full Baltimore onslaught here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Why not?
it's a little too easy. It's a little too easy, man.
Yeah, I mean, with the way the ADPs shake out, it's pretty difficult to get Westberg and Rutschman together unless we're on the ends, obviously, but we got a 10 pick discount on Westberg and
Yeah,
an 11
you're
pick
right.
discount on Adley. It just feels like while this stack isn't a unique combination, maybe these two stacked with these two guys with like a Wyatt Otani, maybe it's kind of a different team construction. Like, I don't know that there's going to be many teams that are going to look like this.
No, I would say not. I mean, what's cool about this team too is, like, we started Skeens Crochet, and
Right.
we have these bats. I mean, I think we did okay for ourselves.
Yeah, this room kind of cooperated with us with what we were trying to do. Because, like, if you're gonna invest pitcher capital like this, you're gonna need a little bit of luck, I think, to get some guys to fall from where they shouldn't be. And we got that out of Westberg and Rutschman. I don't draft much Adley. I'm not a huge fan of drafting expensive catchers necessarily,
Yeah.
but the stack was there. It felt like a mistake, even though I probably would rather have Vinny P there. It just felt like a mistake to let this stack go by in this particular draft.
Yeah, for this price too. Like I was like woefully unaware that we were getting such a strong discount here too. Like, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
A couple of your guys that you really like in the outfield just went. I want to kind of talk about this range of outfield because it's, the cliff to me is after Tyler O'Neill. You can make a case for JJ Bleday, but you would have to threaten my family to get me to draft George Springer. And even then, it depends on the threat. So, Helio Ramos, Lane Thomas, Cedric Mullins, Kerry Carpenter, Matt Wallner, Jung-Ho Lee. Like this range of outfield is kind of gross. I know you love you some Matt Wallner because he's such a great pure hitter, and same with Kerry Carpenter. But dude, I am so worried that they're going to get Rocco Baldelli and then AJ Henged into a platoon.
Oh man, I know. I get it. I'm telling myself a story where I look at this Twins team and I'm like, not even Rocco can find a reason to take Wallner off the field. Like if you have to take Wallner or Larnach off the field, I mean, who are you taking off?
It's not like they've got world beaters sitting on the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, just let these guys hit, man. It's like, let's see what they got. Like the Twins are going to be definite contenders for that division, right? So like maybe let's just see what the kid's got. And then if it doesn't go well, like he's probably not going to kill you. It just, I don't know. I want to see Kerry Carpenter and Matt Wallner just get a chance to hit every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that doesn't work, then let's go ahead and start playing around with the platoon thing. It's really frustrating. And I am not getting to those guys as much as I would otherwise like to, because I just can't pay, especially with all this pitching here. I just can't pay these prices for guys who I am extremely concerned about getting in platoon situations.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, right? Like they're not like great picks because of that. You know, like the platoon risk is so it's so scary that, you know, like you're better off like going infield or taking a great pitcher instead is really, really the truth. But yeah, where am I? Let me see where I'm at on Wallner now, because I don't think I'm nowhere near where I was last year. I was way overboard last year.
Well, I mean, last year he was a 20th round pick, right?
He was. Yeah, 25%.
Yeah. All right, Nez, what are we doing here? I don't really like this range all that much. Like, can
we go pitcher?
Yeah, we can go pitcher. Steele?
Can we toggle?
Yes.
I do like Jared Jones.
Stack pitcher stack. We're gonna pitcher stack with Skeens.
Yeah, I can't help it, man. I'm too obsessed with early season Jared Jones that I want to believe that he's gonna do it again.
Nez, do we have to have a funeral for Grayson Rodriguez? Is it all over?
I mean, I'm not taking him anymore.
I'm not either.
No shot. So my bags are unfortunately well packed.
Mine are as well. Yeah. I like to say that, like, I draft a ton of whoever. I draft a ton based on how I draft. Like 30% on a pitcher is basically my cap. I probably need to reevaluate that, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad idea.
It's so sad. Okay. Do we finish off outfielder with a guy that I think is still too cheap with Josh Lowe, or is there an infielder?
Yeah, let's take your guy, man. Let's take your guy. We could,
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces to stack him up with at the end.
Yep.
Too.
The Rays are so much fun to stack, and they're so easy to do it. That ballpark, the new ballpark that they're going to be playing in, basically outdoor Florida Yankee Stadium. I'm really interested to see what that does for their offense. Conversely, you could worry about the pitching a little bit, but Shane McClanahan's an animal, so I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if that park, I always think of like when the Blue Jays were in Dunedin for that one season when
Yeah.
Vlad Guerrero just was the best hitter we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of have like flashbacks of that. Like, is Josh Lowe going to hit 35 home runs? Is Brandon Lau going to hit 35 home runs? Like, what is going to happen here? Probably neither of those things, but it's very attractive. It's kind of like a siren song luring me into this wonderful new baseball field. So
Yeah. I get it. I get it, right? I mean, 2020 potential here with, seven. I mean, what are we looking at here? Like 750 OPS. I mean, that's really good. That's really good for an outfielder. And for as late as he goes, you got to feel pretty good about that. And, the Rays too don't have like, a super awesome bench to platoon him with either. I mean, who's coming out first?
yeah, I think that and I made this assumption. I think you and John were talking about it on one of your Badge Bros streams about how, or maybe it was the Stacking Dingers episode. I get it confused. I'm sorry. Follow and subscribe to Stacking Dingers if you don't.
Yes.
And like, I think we just assume because they've always done it that the Rays are just going to platoon a bunch of guys. But, then you look at their bench and you're like, this is kind of gross. Like, do they want to play any of these guys at all? And I don't know that they necessarily do. So I'm starting to get less worried about the platoon risk in Tampa Bay than we were in previous years.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair to care less about it based on how the lineup looks right now. I mean, the bench is not deep. The bench is not deep at all, as a matter of fact.
Gross.
I mean,
it's pretty gross. Rod asking Josh Lowe over Nolan Jones. For the most part, for me, yes. I still don't know if Nolan Jones is any good at baseball. I feel much better about paying a 13th, 14th round price for him than I did a third round last year. That being said, I was even with the field last year, but I don't know, Josh. We've seen it out of Josh Lowe before. We haven't seen it out of Nolan Jones, and Nolan Jones plays in Coors, but Tampa Bay's temporary stadium might be like not Coors, but not too far off. Like we'll see.
Yeah, their park factor could be something special. I mean, we did, to be fair with Nolan Jones, his 23 was, burst on the scene, and he did have a pretty sick 23, right? I mean, he's still like 540 for out of 100 games, so there was reason to buy in, and plus five, the Coors factor, people were just losing their minds. I got lucky with that. I was not taking him a ton last year, and I'm not taking him a lot this year. It does seem like a decent buy low. Like I don't think he's a bad pick. I don't take him though. I mean, all that to be said, my Nolan Jones percentage is 6%. So
is it?
Yeah,
mine is, and I know I'm on the clock, but I already know who I'm going to take, so I don't really care. I'm at 14% right now, Nolan Jones. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
The correct pick is Max Muncy here to do a little mini with Shohei Ohtani, and honestly, I still think Max Muncy is too cheap for this format. To be clear.
No, I get it, man. I get it.
We'll just let it all.
Yeah, he's not like my favorite player in real life, but in this format, yeah, his spikes, his ceiling with this team is pretty incredible. I mean, he has 100 RBI upside, and I don't think that's insane to say.
No,
just given who he plays with.
SB, I see your question on the Tampa Bay guys. I will pull up my exposures. I won't toggle the screen because I'm horrible at that. I don't want to screw up the stream. But I will tell you my Tampa Bay exposures. I kind of know who I want to pick here as well. We could really have fun and do like a 3-man pirate stack until Mitch Keller gets traded. Sad. I'm just Gavin Williams is.
I don't take a lot of Mitch Keller.
You don't?
No, yeah, no. I like Gavin. I like Gavin.
He's been one of my favorite picks from minute one. I've been drafting him in the bullpen. I've been drafting him in every contest. Again, I have a really hard time getting more than 30% on any pitcher, but he is currently, let me check my exposures real quick. I think he is, so in order, my highest owned pitcher right now is Brandon Woodruff. That is a guess that he's healthy and he's a smash in the 19th round or whatever. Fought is second, and Gavin Williams is at 27%. So
That's
he's
awesome.
been one of my favorite for
I've been late to the Gavin Williams party, unfortunately. Yeah. But I'm here now. I'm here, guys.
You're here now. You're here now. Yeah. You're a believer. We got you. Yeah. Let me pull up the board so you guys can see that real quick, and then I'll go over my Tampa exposures. Nez, do you want to kind of do the same? Go over your
Tampa for sure,
guys.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's it. You can start if you're ready.
Okay. I'm gonna do pitchers too, guys. So Josh Lowe, 26.3%. Brandon Lau, 23%. Shane McClanahan, 18. Taj Bradley, 18. Yandy Diaz, 18. Junior Caminero, 15.6. Pepio, 8.1. Morel, 6.3. Baz, 2%. That's where I'm at.
Mine are looking like this. Oh, where am I? Okay. Junior Caminero, 25%. Shane McClanahan, 24%. Yandy Diaz, 24%. Christopher Morel, 9%. Taj Bradley, 9%. Shane Baz, 9%. Josh Lowe, 5.7%. Brandon Lau, 2 shares of Brandon Lau. I'm repenting. He's a target now. He's in my ranks. And 1 share of Ryan Pepio.
Okay.
Dude, I think I'm going to take a little bit more of Pepio.
I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd year in a row that I've been very in on Brandon Lau. And there's got to be a point somewhere where I learn my lesson finally, but that is not going to be this year. When this dude is on the field, he has a ton of power, especially for a second baseman. Now we obviously don't care that he's a second baseman for this format, but he's, an 18th, 19th-ish rounder. He's easy to stack with other Rays. Again, buying into the narrative of outdoor Florida Yankee Stadium, which should play well for lefty power. I'm just hoping that he can stay on the field for an extended period of time. It feels like he could just absolutely smash. We haven't seen it for a long time, but 2021, 39 home runs that year. And since then, it's just had trouble staying healthy. So
right.
The power's there. We just need to see it on the field consistently.
Yeah. I mean, he has really good slugging numbers. Always has. And so for his price, I get it. Like he's definitely a no-brainer for his price. Yeah, I need to get a little bit more of Brandon Lau for sure.
I probably need
a little bit of low end Lau.
A little low end Lau. Yeah, I've been trying to back off just a little bit, only because I'm trying to force myself to scroll more in those last couple of rounds, because when you get to late round infielder, and I mean we're about to get there. We're about there right now. Really, what's the difference between Nathaniel Lowe and honestly Jake Cronenworth? They don't really have much power. They're kind of little extra base hit kind of machines or whatever. There's not much difference between the profiles of a lot of these guys. I do think it's important to kind of maybe take a stand on the last round guy because they're so similar and just hope that they smash. But I am trying to scroll a little bit more and get some exposure to some different guys, or bump my exposure on guys that I've been out on so far.
Yeah. I'm trying to be cognizant of that as well on my end, as much as I can. I do have favorites though, Yainer Diaz. I take a ton of Yainer. I just love that guy. So he's a problem. Can't stop taking him. And my new flavor of the week too is Jacob Wilson.
Jacob Wilson.
Yes, I've put Jacob
Figured.
Wilson in on quite a few teams lately. Not going to stop either. Not going to stop either, despite the Oakland Luis Ariz allegations. I'm still going to take it because I just think there's upside with him that people are that they don't see, but I see it, Jason. I see it.
Well, I
crystal
mean,
clear.
you just at some point, Nez, we got to take our faces out of the spreadsheets and we just got to just put it on the table,
Yep.
right? And say, I know ball and this guy is way too cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it's all it comes down to. Yeah. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in old Jacob, and I think his game can work with this team around him.
All right, we are up. What are we doing here?
This is
there's
a
not
tough range.
Much. Yeah, there's not much that I like in this range. You know, you can convince me to kind of go with the maybe Walker Buehler's good again narrative. We could. Let's do this.
I like Correa.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Correa. I want Walker Buehler to be good, but like, man,
we also don't need him on this team, to be quite honest. We just don't. So
yeah, what kind of pitcher archetype are you? I mean, the pitchers that go like at this point, man, I do not like, and I have favorites, but I don't like them. But
I usually have 6 pitchers by this point, and so sometimes I'll have 5, but I would rather just skip it. Like maybe Nick Lodolo can be kind of fun, but like we can just skip and skip and skip. I should probably just sort by pitcher until we start getting into like Ronel Blanco is kind of interesting. Maybe some Shane Baz, Reese Olson. Like there's a lot of pitchers that you can just scroll for. Real quick, let's make our pick. I'm going to go ahead and stack Tommy Edman with the 2 Dodgers. What do you think about that?
That's a fun one with Kim being demoted. Edman's playing time is so solidified.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's going every.
He just kind of does a bunch of stuff, you know, and he's he's probably going to be batting in the bottom third of that lineup, most likely.
I think so.
Yeah. But
that's where he's gonna be a good stack partner with Muncy.
Well, dude, batting in the bottom third of the Dodgers lineup is like batting 5th in literally any other lineup. So
yeah,
I don't really care about that as much.
It means Ohtani might hit you home.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know he's got speed. He's got a little bit of power. Nothing too crazy. Just you know, in this situation, there's a lot of guys who are like Tommy Edman. Like you could convince me Zach Neto's like that. Nico Horner with less power but more speed. Xander Bogaerts. Like there's a lot of these guys here. So why not just take the dude who stacks?
100%, right? Like I give so much credence to stacking here. It's so important. It really is as important as, you know, you might be, I don't think anybody in here like doesn't believe in stacking or is annoyed by it, but I mean, like it's as real as it's hyped up to be. I mean, it's very important. Like we talk about how important it is in DFS. Like how does that not translate? Not that anybody's arguing that it doesn't, but like it just makes sense.
SB with an interesting comment. He said he's completely out on Cronenworth. They're talking about possible platoon with Iglesias. I hadn't seen that. If that's a thing though, and Cronenworth might get stuck in a platoon, then he is a full fade. It seems kind of silly to like, is Iglesias any good anymore? Like, I don't know that I necessarily believe in that, but like, I hadn't heard that yet. Had you seen anything like that?
No, I haven't. I haven't been drafting Cronenworth either. But
I haven't been doing it.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. Duke, what's up, man? Thank you for coming in. Nick says Reese Olson is the truth. I don't know if you saw, but Casey Mize threw 106 today. That's totally real and accurate. So
did the gun read 106?
106. Yeah. 106. Ben Joyce is out here hitting 103 and Casey Mize is at 106. Like, I think we need to recalibrate that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
I can believe the Ben Joyce thing.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I was going to say, I can believe Ben Joyce.
Yeah.
But
that guy's That guy's crazy. SB saying I haven't seen Grayson drop this much. Yeah, he went 200. I have enough right now, so I'm just gonna wait for news before I make another move with him. I think you're in the same boat, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I don't know when my next Grayson share will be. I don't know what is normal for Grayson to go, because I'm not like usually looking at my draft boards, and I have Grayson so low in my ranks that I just don't even see him. He's out of sight, out of mind for me.
Yeah, it's so sad, man.
It's very sad.
I really hope it's just, the injection works and he comes back and he's fine. I don't like, and I didn't know this until somewhat recently, I don't like that he's changing up his delivery. So I don't want to say the wrong thing, but if I'm remembering correctly, I think he's not throwing over the top as much to put less strain on that lat muscle that keeps getting hurt. And so I wonder if changing arm slot has led to a little bit more torque on his elbow. Like,
that would make sense.
I just want this guy to be healthy and show it to me. Let's just see if you're that guy.
God, I know he is. I know he is.
I know he is too.
Frustrating. Like, I want him.
So annoying.
Yeah, it's God. To be a Grayson Bull is a rough life.
It is. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This team, I really, really like this team that we're building.
It's really coming together. Really coming together.
I'm thinking it's a 7-7-6.
I think so.
Okay. What pitcher do you want me to click on? This is your decision.
All right, take Nestor Cortez.
Okay, I'm good with it.
I have a lot of Nestor Cortez. Unfortunately, I mean, he's my highest drafted, I think, player. Period.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I just think Nestor Cortez is a good pitcher, and getting away from Yankee Stadium, going to Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is a really good organization. I think they're very smart, and they do a lot of good things with player development over there that, like, I'm a believer in. And if we get 170 innings out of Nestor at this late, like, he's just somebody that I just want him to be healthy. Like, it's really what I want.
This staff is definitely not short on upside, so why not take a guy who we think is a little bit reliable? Speaking of upside, let's get silly and buy into Ryan Weathers being good. What do you think?
No, he's really intriguing. He's
looking incredible so far in spring. So I've been taking him a little bit lately. I'm not gonna get too crazy about him, but I feel like if he has another really, really good start where he's, flashing 98, 99 miles an hour and his slider looks amazing and his change is amazing. If he has one more start like that, we're not getting him in the 19th, 18th, 19th, 20th round ever again. It's going to be 16th round.
Yeah, no, for sure. He has a really good home park. He flashed some decent upside a few times last year. He went 7 innings, 8 Ks against Milwaukee. Just looking at random awesome games that he had. 6 innings, 11 Ks against the Rangers, but that was, the Rangers were a joke last year, but that's still a nice game. Yeah. 6 innings, 10 Ks against the Giants. Some really solid games here for Weathers. I liked him whenever he was on the Padres. I thought that he was kind of crafty. I thought he had, I remember him having a pretty decent changeup as a lefty. And maybe the change of scenery, could be good for him. We don't really care about whip, but as far as whip goes, 118 whip last year. Projections think that he ran hot on that, but what if there's just a substantial change there and it sticks? I think you could do worse.
And we always try to recreate what happened last year. We're always looking for who's the Garrett Crochet of this year, who's the Paul Skeens of this year, and I don't think that guy exists. But who is this late round pitcher who, in Crochet's case, nobody's thinking about, that has the stuff to really make some noise on an upside basis. And I'm pretty sure if you check out Sweating Dingers, so sweating-dingers.com, it's similar to the Best Ball Mania database for football, but
Mhm.
our guy Aiden at Tistonian Wings on Twitter X, he created this site. Ryan Weathers had the highest scoring week of any
Yes.
pitcher last year, which is an insane statement to say.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's
It
absolutely
really
hilarious.
is. Like, you could have, I'm not kidding, Nez. Somebody could have asked me who was the highest scoring pitcher in a week last year. I would have probably given you 58 to 60 answers and been like, you're trolling. The answer doesn't exist. And then if you told me Ryan Weathers, I would have laughed in your face. Like, it's so unbelievable to me that happened.
Yeah, he had an awesome week. I want to find out when that was, because I remember seeing that too, and I was like, dude, look at that spike for Ryan Weathers. I mean,
It's
what
unreal.
what happened there? Awesome site he built, by the way. I'm pretty sure if most people should know about it. If they don't, like you said, sweating-dingers.com, you can play around on there for hours.
It's so much
and look
fun.
at all the historical data from last year.
To answer your question, Duke Dean, I was not really on Mania before he got hurt, and I'm definitely not clicking his name now that he is. I'm just not a Mania guy, so I'm out.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
We got our final pick coming up here, Nez. We're gonna take a picture. Who are we taking? Are we scrolling a little bit? Are we gonna buy Casey Mize's 106 miles an hour?
I took some David Peterson today.
Some David Peterson, okay.
With the injuries to this staff, and he has decent stuff. He has decent stuff, man. I like Peterson. I think he's fine.
Let's do it. I'll go ahead and take my first David Peterson. I think there's worse picks. Shane Baz might be the one that I, could quibble with and probably would. I mean, we're at 239 and we're getting a 2-round discount basically on Shane Baz. So does he have the strikeout stuff? Like, I just don't know much about Shane Baz, and I need to probably learn a little bit more about him. I don't know.
He does not have, like, I think they call it like an out pitch. He doesn't necessarily have like the swing and miss necessarily, but he has a crazy. I mean, his fastball is like almost 100, touches 100. So he has that going for him. But his K rates have never really been there, and he hasn't had the innings yet either in his career. So I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical for sure.
Okay. Let's go ahead and review the team. This was a very fun draft, mostly because you're on it, but just as a draft like this, I have not built a team like this, and it's really fun to have built this with you, man. So we picked from the 2-hole, built a 7-7-6. Our pitching staff: Paul Skeens, Garrett Crochet, Jared Jones, Gavin Williams, Nestor Cortez, Ryan Weathers, David Peterson. The infield: O'Neal Cruz, Tristan Cassis, Jordan Westberg, Adley Rutschman, Max Muncy, Carlos Correa, Tommy Edman. And then the outfield is Shohei Ohtani, Wyatt Langford, Jason Dominguez, Colton Cowser, Tyler O'Neill, and Josh Lowe. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, I love this team. I think this team is so much fun.
I mean, if you just would have said who our bats were, I never would have guessed our SPs 1 and 2 were Skeens and Crochet on this one.
Yeah, the room allowed us to catch up for making those early investments in pitcher. Like, this team is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you should take the detour every now and then. Take the detour, see what happens. Grab a little Skeens, grab a little Screwball. Yeah. See what happens. See what you can put together. You might just have one of the best teams in the tournament with these guys, because nobody else that really knows what they're doing is doing that. So yeah, something to consider.
I do like to review a team or two from people who show up to the stream. So Turbo, you're always here, man. Truly appreciate you always hopping in. I love having fun with you in the Discord too. Turbo built a 7-7-6 from the 7-hole. Pitching staff: Pablo Lopez, Jacob deGrom, Tanner Bybee, Yusei Kikuchi, Mitch Keller, Reese Olson, and Grant Holmes. The infield: Jose Ramirez, Bryce Harper, Tovar, Alec Boehm, Reese Hoskins, Nolan Arenado, and Shea Langeliers. And then the outfield is Rooker, James Wood, Seiya Suzuki, Christian Yelich, JJ Bleday, and Nolan Jones. I think this is a very well built team. This is a really good one too.
Yeah, that's a fun stack that I like to do. That Oakland or Sacramento, I should say.
Yeah.
That stack. Shout out Turbotron, good dude.
Goated, I didn't know you were in here. He says his team is ass. He melted under the bright lights. All right, let's take a look. Let's see what Goated put together here. All right.
I'm sure you did fine.
Yeah, I'm sure you did too, man. And I'm never gonna roast a team, but that's a funny comment, and I want to appreciate you popping in. Let's take a look. 5-hole for him. 767. Nola, Green, Sonny Gray, Senga, Fott, Holmes, and Schmidt. That's a fun staff. Infield: Riley, Chisholm, Albies, Eugenio Suarez, Volpe, and Connor Norby. And then the outfield is Corbin Carroll, Marcelo Zuna, Randy Rosarina, George Springer, Jesus Sanchez, Lars Nootbaar, and Joe Adele. This isn't a bad team. It's not a bad team at all.
No, this is how, if I do 7 outfielders, this is the type of team I like to do 7 outfielders with. Like, if I'm drafting George Springer, chances are it's a 7 outfielder team. I want to have coverage in case George Springer is not back to the form that we need him to be. And Jesus Sanchez is a fun way, to try to capture some upside. Lars Nootbaar, I feel, is like a safe pick with some upside. And then Adele, high risk, not really high risk, low risk, high reward, but like the floor is the core of the earth for Joe Adele. So
yeah, it really is. It really is. And honestly, SB kind of said it here. The 5-hole gets tricky. The 5-hole, in my opinion, is the worst spot to draft from. So, Goated, I think you put together a pretty solid team for having that draft slot. Honestly, you did good. You did good,
man. Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. Start feeling good about these teams that you're putting.
Being hard on yourself is my job, because I feel like this has got to be probably the best team I've drafted on stream this year. And I had a pretty good one last time, but I feel like every draft up until then, every team was just like, I'm dead. I don't like this team. This is terrible. But the most important thing, Nez, is that I had fun along the way, right? It's only $10, and we had some fun along the way. So, I guess any thoughts, any other exposures you want to talk about, or
I mean, man, this is always a lot of fun getting to hop on here and draft with you and get some different takes into my life. People may remember I was drafting a ton of Bubba Chandler. I've slowed down on the Bubba Chandler drafting. He's still my second highest drafted player, but I am slowing down. Not stopping, just slowing down.
Yeah.
And good.
I understand, man. Like, there's just, is he going to break camp with the team is the biggest question, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
It doesn't look like it. Yeah.
No, but I am a believer that, like, when he gets up, he's gonna light the world on fire. But I've had to slow down. I've had to be honest with myself. Probably not the best way to construct a team. You do got to get there first, bro.
Yeah. One thing that I did notice from you, you and I, we are frolicking through the fields of trout.
Yes,
I am at 27%. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see, not necessarily that you agree with me, but I'm happy to see that you're a believer as well in the Mike Trout.
Yeah, last year I was like above the field, but like not where I should have been. It was like 10 or 12%. No, this year I am all the way in. He's my highest drafted outfielder.
He is my second. He's tied with Yelich right now.
Nice
for highest, but he's getting much more expensive. He keeps climbing, but his price isn't. He's where he should be, in my opinion. Like, he never should have been drafted below Spencer Steer and Ryan Reynolds and stuff like that. And that's starting to even out. But I'm just going to keep drafting him because he's one of the best players on the planet. And this is a upside driven game that we play. So
Yep.
if he can just actually stay on the field, we're getting a second rounder, potentially if he snaps, first rounder in the fourth. So
I think he can crack the top 30 before this contest locks. He's at ADP 38 right now.
yep, that would not surprise me one bit. The
Mhm.
more he plays in spring, the more people are going to be in on him.
And maybe I'm naive. I really believe that this shift to right field, probably DHing more on top of it, is going to make a big deal for his health. I really do think so, but I could be naive.
I hope so. I want to address a couple of questions real quick before we get out of here. Do we have a feeling about Clark Schmidt this year? No, not really. I
I think
really
he's
do
fine.
much.
He's definitely
Yeah.
a fine option. I mean, he's for as often as he's getting drafted, which is not very often. I think he deserves to be clicked. I got no problem with
Yeah.
him. I don't take him very much, but he's fine.
Did you get zapped by Garrett Cole? Were you in on Garrett Cole at all in this contest?
I survived.
Yeah.
that. That was unfortunate. I did not have good vibes. Did not have good vibes.
Yeah, I 2.5% for Garrett Cole for me. 10% in the bullpen though. He was too cheap in that contest. So
Yeah, I'm sure. The other
cool.
player, real quick,
Yeah,
that I have, that just because this is somebody that I've been taking a lot more of, is Michael Harris. Man, I was not a Michael Harris guy in years past, but just like thinking about the ceiling for this Braves team, thinking that fully healthy, this Braves team is a problem,
Yeah.
and I just was like really unaware of how well Michael Harris projects. I mean, 2020 upside with a 480 slug. I mean, the 2020 is not even the upside. That's like the median projection is 2020. 480 is the median slug.
I keep getting stuck in like, you got to show me, man. Like I see it. I get it. He's projected relatively well for a couple years now and just hasn't gotten there for one reason or another. The ceiling for the Braves is the moon. Like, they could absolutely be one of, if not the best offenses in baseball this year, especially when Acuna comes back. You get a little bit of a bounce back from Albies. You get the breakout from Harris. You get a bounce back from Olsen and Riley. Like, this team can be unbelievable. So I totally get the vision. It's just, you see this 42 ADP and who else is right there? It's Mike Trout for me. I can't take these guys over Mike Trout most of the time if I'm drafting.
I'm reasonable.
It's Mike Trout, man. But yes, I do see the vision. I don't think I have too much Harris, but I am trying to force myself to stack the Braves more because I don't have many Braves stacks, and that is concerning. So I've been pushing the issue with him and other Braves lately for sure.
Yeah, he's just someone that like I was just like did a deep dive on one night, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to draft a lot of Michael Harris this year. So we'll see how it works out. But that was my new flavor of the season.
Let's see. I don't have anybody off the top of my head who I wanted to ask you about, but I think we'll go ahead and wrap here. It took an hour and 15 minutes of your time. Nez, all the best to you. I know you've got some big stuff coming up. Congratulations, and
thank you.
Enjoy your time. I know you said on the stream today you're gonna be there on Friday, I believe, and then probably out for a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. Friday will be the last day, and then at least probably like a good 2 weeks of offline for me. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, of course, in Discord. You guys will be like the first people I tell if if things go well. But all right. Yeah, very, very, very excited, man. Very excited, very, very blessed, and hopefully everything goes well.
Well, prayers up for you guys.
Thank you.
Guys, on your way out, if you could, hopefully you had a good time here. It's the whole point. We want to have fun. How could you not have fun drafting teams?
Come on, guys.
For real. Like this is it's so easy to have fun. So if you could like the video, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, love to see you back. More importantly, go to the Badge Bros channel. Make sure you subscribe to those guys. I want to support Nez and John. We need to support Nez and John as much as we can. They put out great content. They're great dudes. Become a member to the Badge Bros. It's only $5 a month. You get access to some behind the paywall stuff. It's always a lot of fun. I don't do NBA, and I try to show up at every paywall NBA thing because it's just fun to be there with the community and hang out. So make sure you guys subscribe to the Badge Bros. Make sure to become members. Really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. And Nez, to you, thank you so much for being willing to come on this silly thing that I do. I really, really appreciate it. And this was a blast, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you had me back on. Always a pleasure. Best of luck to you and everybody else. Drafting dingers, man. I think it's gonna be another good season.
It is, yeah. Let's make sure we get this thing filled up. We're at like 60-ish% on the fill rate on the contest. The last week and a half or so is going to be pretty crazy. Lobbies are going to fill fast. There's going to be people chasing overlay, which probably won't exist. Different people we've never seen before. Some weird teams being drafted. So it's a very, very fun time to draft right now. So make sure you get in the lobbies and fill this contest up. But for my guest, Nez, for myself, I am Jason, a.k.a. Woo Woo J Train. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully we will see you on the next one. All right. Have a good night, everybody.